call back all my power to me now from anyone using it with or without my permission. And I reject any. Hi, let me know you can hear me, see me. Is it working? Of course, only me. I decided to come back one day before Venus goes direct because I ain't scared. And also during the Mercury retrograde along with Uranus retrograde. So who knows what fun things will abound during my first live back in a long time. First, I just want to thank this incredible, loving, supportive community because I'm pretty sure every single one of you reached out in one way or another, which was really kind. I am not 100%, but I am on the mend enough that I can be here, and that makes me incredibly happy. Trust and believe I missed you all as much as you missed me. I'm just really, my heart is happy to be here today. But you guys all were just so patient. So no one was impatient. No one was everybody gave me and kept encouraging me to take the space that I needed to get well with my health. So I just can't tell you how much I appreciated that. I hope you are all well. We are at the tail end of a WTF 2 months of transits. And so tomorrow Venus goes direct, and it's stationing now. It's been at 12 degrees for at least a couple of days, and it's stationing now. And then what's also stationing and slowing, but will fully station tomorrow as well, is Jupiter, which goes into retrograde tomorrow. Just a heads up, while those are squaring each other in Venus and Taurus respectively, and one will be, literally one comes out and the other one goes in. I think there's a few hours where they're squaring in both direct, but at that point they're stationed. But that stationed, concentrated energy, if we think about Venus as indulgence and we think about Jupiter as like, picking the fat off the lands, the riches, the expansion, it's a really nice time to, I know, self-care. It's just become cliche, right? But self-care, and in that self-care vibration, affirmations of your worth, your abundance. Tomorrow is a really great day with think about the fact, and I try to explain it like this: if somebody is moving around and you're trying to have a conversation with them and you really want to connect and have a strong connection for that communication because it's important, and they're listening but they're doing a million things, there's a big difference between that and somebody who dead stops what they're doing, stares you right in the eyes, and gives you their full attention. And when a planet is stationed, it's no longer, it's kind of sitting still for a minute. So that energy is concentrated. So it's going to be concentrated on whatever Venusian and Jupiterian, which are two benefics, whatever those energies are that you want to sit in, it will absolutely give you that energy back. It will hear you. It will receive you. So tomorrow's just a great day. Write things down, speak them. I'm better at speaking them and writing them down, but do whatever works for you. Do whatever works for you, for sure. I just want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Tanya and Maricela. Hi, TS and Renata. Shauna, I hope you got my email. Adva, I owe you email. I still have not gotten over to my P.O. box. Hi, Amber and Patty and Tanya and Zoe. Hi, did I say hi to Tina? Hi, Tina and Venus and Jupiter. Stacy. Hi, Flower and Christine and Dolly and Shorty. So we're going to do all 12 signs. This will be interesting. I want to see, where's Juan? Where's Waldo? Where's Juan? I'm sure at some point he'll be, he mentioned it yesterday in an email, so I'm sure he'll pop in at some point. But I think we're okay. I'm kind of sneaking in. I didn't advertise a ton for this because I just wanted to see how I would do. So we're going to go through all 12, and I'm sure the energy, so especially with that Pisces moon that we just had, there's a lot of shifts in energy in the spiritual, the astro spiritual community. Really more spiritual than, I don't know that as an astrologer, I mean, not that I don't know. I know as an astrologer, I would never say, oh yeah, this is a definite, you can put your money on it. But there's also a belief that with that Pisces full moon, there were things released, almost ancient things that were released and going to shift energy, and any kind of divine union that has felt like it's been held off could start, and I don't mean tomorrow, I mean start to see shifts back towards each other if it's felt like obstacles. Now, when I say divine union, I don't mean somebody, I mean, a divine union should not cause you more stress than it causes you positive change in your life. Divine union doesn't necessarily just pertain to like the in love feeling, the woo-woo feeling, the, you know, the butterflies and all of that. It is somebody's presence in your life who makes you examine yourself and kind of grow in a way that the connection will make you grow. Hi, Annika. Hi, Valencia. In a way, the connection will make you grow that you maybe wouldn't have as soon, or it benefits your life. If you have somebody that makes you cry all the time and unkind, and there's been strife and obstacles in that way, they've been unfaithful a million times, but it just feels like when it loves, it's love, it's so good, and when it's bad, it's so bad. That's probably not a divine union. So when I say divine unions are shifting to come back towards each other, when things happen first, it happens in the 5D. It happens energetically. Just like I talk about tarot, at first there's a feeling, then you have to put a thought to the feeling, then you put an action to which way you want those thoughts and feelings to be nurtured, and then it takes a while to those pentacles, that tangible result comes. But I do believe that we will see a shift. Now, as far as everyday astrology goes, we're going to have a couple of good weeks, and then it's going to get a little nuts again. But all of this nutsy stuff is help bringing change that we all need. So without further ado, let's start with Aries. This is going to be interesting to see how my bandwidth and my energy hold up. So I'm not going to do backwards or anything else that it's going to make me strain myself. All right, so we're starting with Aries. How is everybody else? Does anybody have some interesting stories that they want to put in the chat that happened during Venus retrograde? I know we saw a million celebrity breakups, but Venus retrograde didn't break them up. It's just that I think my personal opinion is that Neptune in retrograde, being able to see what you couldn't see before because there was fog, probably contributed almost more than the Venus in retrograde. But please do share any stories that you have that get interesting. All right, so let's see what universe has my Aries, my first house energies, my moon, sun, rising, Venus, whatever. If you feel called to the reading, then that's probably why you're here. All right. Interesting enough. So now Aries, and I want to say it happened the last time we were together. Was the nodal axis switched already? So we have the nodal axis. The north node has moved into Aries and the south node has moved into Libra. That's so with that being said, there's a lot of impetus towards Aries to move. And because it's the north node, it's like when Mars is on Aries, then you might see impetus to, like, I'm going to fight for what I need. When you see the north node with Aries, you're seeing something that's going to pull you towards what works to connect you to your higher self, to your best life. You're going to see an energy that brings you to your highest expression. So less about the conflict. We have the Five of Swords in reverse here. So there may either be more focus on what's good for you and everyone around you, and less focus on, I need to fight to get that. But there's definitely, or there could be a conflict that's going to not occupy all your time, not become less important, and also that other person that you're involved in conflict with may also have their own moments. One way or the other, this conflict is either subsiding or going away. I'm going to say this is something big. Maybe because I haven't been here a while, so the energies are like, let's not play. Let's talk about the big stuff that's going on. Because I know just from talking to clients here and there while I was down, that everybody was feeling stuck. Like they knew what they needed to do, but they couldn't bring themselves to do it. That they felt, or like obstacles during this energy the last 2 months. So hi, Latanya. So for a reason, all of that energy was bringing us to a crux. And again, tomorrow's a big day with the two benefics stationing and Venus coming out of retrograde. Will also be at the halfway point of the Mercury retrograde, believe it or not, in a day or two. And then it starts to ease up after that. So there's going to be a decompression. There's going to be a decompression. So when that happens, you're going to be able to lay a burden down, pain, that you've probably examined quietly over the last 2 months. Aries risings, Aries moons, first house suns, and if it speaks to you, I have a feeling these messages, all 12, are probably going to speak to a lot of people because they've all been held up. That 10 of Swords indicates a pain that you may have either consciously or unconsciously be carrying around that you can let go of. So we're like letting go of both conflict and laying down pain that we've maybe unnecessarily been carrying for a while. So I absolutely love that for Aries. My guess is that there's going to be a lot of messages focused on empowerment. I can pull an oracle at the end of all of this just for like a general love message after all the signs. Are we just in Venus retrograde to Virgo? Which house did that affect? Okay, so Venus is in retrograde in Leo. It's at 12 degrees right now. So wherever you have 12 degrees of Leo, that's where it would affect now. What house that is depends on what your rising sign is. It's going to be different for everyone. It won't go into Virgo until the end of September, after it has time to go direct and then go through the other 17 degrees. And we have just finished a full moon in Pisces a couple of days ago. New moon will come up soon. Okay. We're not doing houses in the reading. We're just doing signs. So whatever reading feels like it resonates the most will probably suffice. Okay, so let's go on to Leo. Let's go on to Leo. Oh, there we go. I'm not gonna lie. So the long COVID, I had more than one thing going on. Good morning, Sue. I had more than one thing going on, but when you get a really bad long COVID flare up, it can cause a little brain fog. I did things like my kids were in the backyard and I said something to them out the door from the kitchen, and then just locked the door while they were outside. They had to come knock on my window and be like, "What you lock us outside for?" So if I and ah a little bit more than usual, that's still clearing up. It's much better than it was 2 weeks ago. All right, let's do Leo. Hi, alien. It's a oh my god, a ghost. I know. I feel like I just finished Aries. That was the reading I just did. All right, so wow, lots of tens. Leo, 10 of Wands. That is putting down a burden that's not yours to carry. Aries had putting down pain. There's pain and suffering coming to an end for them. Okay, Leo. This is interesting. So there's a burden you've been carrying. You're ready to put it down, right? And normally when I get this card for the 10 of Wands, it's that, let me do this for you and let me hold, and this is fifth house energies, or sun, moon and Venus rising, whatever you relate to for this message for Leo. But this is, let me do this for you because I love you, and let me do that for you because I love you, and let me do this because I love you, and let me do that because I love you. Oh, there she goes with her yodeling. And it eventually, you are carrying so much for other people that it feels like every good deed, like, look at all the beautiful works I create in the relationships and the people I love, which, by the way, is very Leo moon. And then it starts to feel like that. You you get to put down this burden. You get to not feel like you have to carry. And I have to tell you, since I all saw you last, I had a moment with a friend where they were, it was harder for them to accept things than it was for them to give. But at the end of the day, and at the end of their longer life, they feel like they don't know that that's been appreciated, how much they've given, how much they will, you know. And Leo is a giver. Leo moons especially are givers. And I asked the question in the quiet moment of sadness and conversation, do you feel like if you are not useful, you are not lovable? That if you are not constantly doing things for other people, that you won't be lovable? Do you allow yourself to, because they don't vent to anyone. They don't complain, not on social media, not normal, not to their friends, not to their family. You know, they hold it all inside, hoping one day somebody will just appreciate it. That's this. And are you carrying this burden for other people? Because unless you are useful, you don't feel lovable. That's a good question to ask ourselves, isn't it? Now, what's beautiful is, as you put down this burden, we have the Four of Wands. Now, I need other cards to make this marriage, so don't get too ahead of yourself. But this is the 1111. This is the divine connection card. This is a celebration. It is divine connection. Something is opening up here for Leo. And of course, this makes sense as Leo goes direct. Hi, Shin. Hi, Kate. You know I can't say that whole name. Hi, Patty. So, Leos, I love this for you. Leos get a bad rap about being all in their ego, and you know, I could do a whole TED talk on that. I don't subscribe to that. But Leos they have that childlike quality to them, which makes them fun. And it also ties to other childhood qualities, like wanting the approval of others, or wanting to do good deeds to get that little serotonin endorphin rush for how that makes somebody else feel. But make sure you're not quantifying that with your values and your own sense of value. Okay, let's see. I appreciate that, alien. That'll be interesting. You should email me and let me know what she says. Okay. Let's do Sagittarius. How are my Saggies? I'm doing fire first. I'm doing fire signs first, then I'll do earth, then I'll do air, and I will finish up with water. And I'll tell you what, if I get to the end of earth and I'm shot, then I'll go live again tomorrow and finish the other 6. I promised myself, because the first day that I felt almost like me again, I went out and I cleaned off the entire front porch, like wiped everything down, washed down the front of the house. I did too much, and the next day I felt like I'd get hit by a bus and I could go, because I was so excited. So I have learned in the last week, as I have started to climb out of the hole, that if I overdo it. Sagittarius moon and rising. Well, you know, Sag is taking a little bit of break. There's, you know, they've got the Leo energy even. Besides Venus, Leo, you know, all the other energies have kind of moved into Virgo now. So, even Libra. So, Sag is getting a little break. I mean, you've got depending on where your Sag is, you could have Pisces, you could have Saturn or Neptune squaring your energy. But, you know, Saturn in Pisces is a more gentle Saturn, and it's in retrograde. And Neptune is in retrograde. So, you know, Neptune in retrograde just gives you more clear seeing and feeling. Get some Fukushima. Alien, I shouldn't even read that out loud. Okay, so let's see what we have for Sag. Okay, so Sag. We have a Knight of Cups in reverse now. So Sag may be sagging. So this is not about like love. This is about personal empowerment, right? So with the Knight of Cups in reverse, this means that I love this for you. So the Knight of Cups can be a bit of a love bomber. I'm not always thrilled about the Knights. If you know, you know. But this Knight of Cups is, I don't want to say childish, but there's a lot of posing here. It's calculated. It's a little showy. So when it's in reverse, this means that Sagittarius, you may be having what is either going to feel like absolute liberation or a little bit of an existential crisis or identity crisis, because you're either in this living your best life, no longer, because Sag wants to believe the best in everybody. And so if you are able to see the best in people, but really have discernment around love bombing, whether that's in friendships, at work, in a new relationship. It could even help you land a better relationship or a better communication, better feeling like the one person where there's like, oh, there's all this chemistry and there's all this, like they're saying all the right things, and then really paying attention to what somebody does. This Knight of Cups in reverse means you are no longer fooled by love bombing. You are no more that good heart, that beautiful, good Sagittarius energy is not being taken in. You're reading around things that you would have maybe taken at face value because you just want to believe the best in people. I love this card for you. Now, one thing at a time, especially for Sages. I'm going to be honest. If you overwhelm a Sag with all of this stuff, like, well, that person's not being real, and that's not as good as it sounds. They could crash in a way that they're like, I'm not listening to any of this because I can't. It's too much, right? Because it's ruled by a Jupiter. So whatever information you give a Sag that is earth-shakingly honest, even though they deal in truth, depending on the other placements, can feel a little like a lot. And so for Sag to have amazing, steady progress in their own evolution, things need to go one at a time, one thing at a time, which is very overcorrective of Scorpio right behind it, right? If we look at each sign being a little overcorrective of the one behind, Scorpio's let me die in the flames, let me sit in the pain, let me phoenix this, right? And Sag is saying like one thing at a time, one thing at a time. And I don't have to put rose-colored glasses on. If you give me a million things at once, I'm going to need those rose-colored glasses because it feels protective even if it's not. So with the Knight of Cups here in reverse, we are no longer we are really waiting for people to show us who they are. And I love that for Sag. And then we have the Six of Cups in reverse. Now, I don't want anybody to get nervous that this means the person that they like, the person that they're with, the person that they're talking to isn't a soulmate. Six of Cups is not always soulmate. Here, we quite literally have kids. Six of Cups is also our childhood healing. There may be something that's like here, Sag, and you know it and you feel it, and you know it's time. There's something coming up connected to childhood, and I don't think it's catastrophic. What I think it was is subtle, but it affected how you deal with people and everything today. And I don't know that it's been picked apart and pulled apart, because that's not Sag's deal. You know, they want to be happy, celebrate, dance, party. They want to be the sunshine in the room. They quite frankly are the sunshine, especially like Jupiter risings. That is sunshine in a room, right? So you are already taking this huge step. For anyone else, this is like, if you're an Aquarius or a Scorpio, maybe even a Virgo, probably a Virgo, and some other signs and placements, Knight of Cups that's every day. But for Sag, it's a big deal. That's a big step. That's a big piece of evolution for Sag's soul. Six of Cups in reverse, Six of Cups reflective. Yeah, I mean, there may be something that you know you're just like, I'll get there, not now. This is enough. I'll get here. With Jupiter in reverse, it's likely that Sag will get there. Sag is going to end up examining whatever this is. When you get through this, things aren't going to be grimmer. They're going to be less disappointing. Sag, when you get through this, things will not be grimmer. Life will not have less sweetness to it. Life will have less disappointment for you. And that's important to know. So if it feels like a nefarious presence, don't worry too much about that. It is for your highest good. We are on Earth. Hi, Little John and Decca, and I think somebody else came in the room. Hi, other Tanya. Tanya with an O. TS is back. All right. I was going to do a whole full moon thing and do a whole healing thing with, thank you, Patty. and do a whole thing with, oh, and if anybody's taking timestamps, if you want to like email them to me, I can send you like a solar return or something cool as a thank you. Taurus, you got a lot going on still. Uranus is now in retrograde. And just to catch you guys all up, this is where we're at. Pluto's in retrograde, obviously. Pluto's been in retrograde since the spring. In June, in the middle of June, Saturn went retrograde, and then Neptune went retrograde at the end of June, June 30th. Venus went retrograde at the end of, or towards the middle, third week of July. Mercury went retrograde towards the third week of August, and then just a few days ago, Uranus went retrograde. So we have 6 at the moment. Tomorrow, Venus will come out, and Jupiter will jump in that double Dutch. So we'll continue to have 6 until Mercury goes direct. In about 10 days. Then we'll be down to 5. 5 retrogrades. Mars won't go into retrograde until next summer. And we won't see another Venus retrograde for 18 months. So... And then in the spring, we have a lot of things going direct. So when you have this many retrogrades, you should be, and this is for every sign, you should be reevaluating, restructuring how you do things. If you are feeling burnout, which so many people are, or if you're feeling burnout, you can't just rest. And the burnout will come back if you don't restructure how you are living your life. With Uranus in retrograde, in my humble opinion, it's a little slice, it's a little taste, it's a little reminiscent, or it can be, of a Uranus opposition, where what it wants to do is disrupt so it can reorganize your life for you. Now, in the mundane, that depends on what house it's hitting in your chart. But in the mundane, for me, it's in my first house. I am completely restructuring my health, my body. I have to. And honestly, it was right around the Uranus retrograde that I really realized, okay, I'm permanently turning a corner here. This isn't a 1 day, 2 day thing, which I had a lot of those in the last 6 weeks. So that's in my first house. Whatever it's disrupting for you, it's begging for you to reorganize. You know, the Venus retrograde wanted you to rethink, reevaluate, and restructure how you accept who you are in your values, how you value yourself, what you accept from other people, because you think, well, I have red flags, well, I have things that are wrong with me, so I don't have to, I shouldn't expect other people. There's a difference between a negotiable and a non-negotiable. There is a difference. What some person might think is a red flag, listen, I can't go to a concert right now. For one person, that might be a really big red flag. For another person who has social anxiety and wants to stay home, they're like, cool, you're going to cook? We're going to have fun? The backyard is nice? Great, perfect. So it's not for you to ever decide, and this is a big one, this came up a lot over the last couple of months. It is never for you to decide what your red flags are, what your flaws are. Because what your flaws might be to one person might feel like a check mark for somebody else. You don't get to decide that. And when you start to quantify and make a list in your head of what your red flags are, what your, well, you know, I have kids, or, you know, I used to be an alcoholic, or my credit's not that great, or I have cellulite, or I talk too much, or whatever it is for each individual person, you know, you don't get to decide that. And when you start quantifying that list, you start to devalue yourself. And when you do that, that is when we don't attract in as much abundance as we're capable of, and healthy partners. Because we're already negotiating in our head why we don't deserve a super healthy partner, because we don't see ourselves as a bargain. We don't see ourselves as the prize when we're saying, well, I have this red flag and that red flag, so I have to... You can have what somebody else would consider a million red flags and somebody else considers one or none. And the other thing is that that's still never, ever, 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 and please hear me say this, no matter what you think your red flags are, I don't care. If you're missing a leg, you have Tourette's, you have not a dollar to your name, you have no possessions, and a tattoo that says sucker on your forehead. I don't care. You don't ever accept a non-negotiable for yourself. Don't ever accept something that's continually trigger old trauma. Don't ever accept and think, I have to deal with this. That feels harmful to me because I have A, B, and C, and D. That makes me not as valuable. That is not what having empathy and compromise. Compromise does not look like you continually to accept harmful behaviors or non-negotiables for your soul, for your nervous system, for your safety. It does not, those are not the same thing. Those do not equate. Do we all understand this? Make your non-negotiable list. You know how we're always told, make a list of what you want in a partner. Also make your non-negotiable list. What doesn't keep you safe? What qualities in family members, in past partners, has made you feel unsafe in any way? You don't have to justify that to anyone. And it, while it is, yes, we have to meet people where they're at, but also meeting people where they're at doesn't mean crossing their bridge over to their side of town every time. That's not reciprocal. Not every time. Don't sit and sift through what you think your flaws are so that you make room for a behavior that essentially makes you feel unsafe and keeps you in such an acclimated to fight or flight that you are not in your best self. You are not attracting healthy for yourself. Should probably do like a whole little shorts or TikTok video. I don't know if I can do it in 3 minutes though. You don't get to decide your red flags. And while we can accept people where they're at, you don't have to exchange with them if something about what they can't help about themselves is a trigger or a non-negotiable for you. And if it doesn't keep you feeling safe, whatever that means to you, you don't have to explain that to anyone. All right, on to Taurus. Well, thank you. Okay. A lot of stuff coming in reverse. Doesn't surprise me with all the retrogrades. Okay. We have 8 of Cups, Taurus, in reverse. And 7 of Cups in reverse. This is Neptune in retrograde. 7 of Cups is Neptune in retrograde. Hi, Erica. Hi, Gemini love. Eight of Cups something that was walked away from, Taurus, you're looking at coming back to it. Boy, do I want to do. Maybe I'll start doing the monthly readings again. Because that could be good or that could be bad. That could be walking back to something that no longer serves you because you love to not, hi Mary, you love to not change too much. You don't want to, you don't want to, you don't want to leave something valuable behind or something that you see is valuable. Or you're walking back towards something that at one point, hey Mark, at one point when you walked away, you may have stubbornly said, never again, and circumstances changed, and now you're wanting to revisit that with the new healed version of you, maybe the new healed version of someone else. Seven of Cups, let me tell you something. That right there, fantasy. This is wanting to be somebody that they are not. This is having too many choices. This is sometimes sticking your finger in too many pies. So when I have this in a relationship reading and it's like this, I know this is somebody that maybe used to be a player because they didn't find the right person, and now they know. They don't have a lot of there. It's just you, right? But it can also be, you could have walked away from something that may have been, and this is second house energy, Taurus rising, sun, moon, Venus, and if it resonates, just take it. And if it doesn't, don't. This could be walking back towards something with a new healed version of you, and not walking into it expecting fantasy. Like really having a healed version of yourself, being more rooted in reality, seeing things for what they are. This almost gives me the vibe for Taurus, and I'm getting my confirmation that there may have been something that you regret the choice that you made. Not that you want to go back to somebody, but that you didn't give yourself closure because possibly at the time the hurt kept you from looking at your part of this. And when I say your part, one of the things I say to my dear friends all the time, and sometimes to clients, the bottom line, one of the biggest mantras to embrace in life, besides that other people's opinions are none of our business, other people's opinions of us are none of our business, is that what you allow will continue. This may be you looking back, Taurus, at something that you didn't put down hard boundaries on, or you loved somebody so much, so you allowed a behavior to continue and continue in hopes that it would change. And God, who doesn't do that, right? Who hasn't done that at one point or another? This could be wanting to go back and seeing so clearly now, especially with Neptune in retrograde, what needs closure, or what can be revisited with the new healed version of you. I love that for Taurus, especially because, you know, the nodes moved out of Taurus and Scorpio, which means you learned a lot in the last 18 months, like a lot. So with that being said, you're going to take that newfound wisdom and start to apply it to all parts of your life. Right? That also means we're out of the full moon eclipse axis in Taurus and Scorpio. right? And I mean, we have a few years until Uranus is out of Taurus, but we have Jupiter in Taurus right now. And this retrograde, really, that retrograde in Jupiter allows you to look for, reevaluate opportunities that you may have had one way or the other way. All right. Virgo. We just finished Taurus. We are on Virgo, and then we will do Capricorn. I'm at an hour. I don't know why. These are the cards that Annika gave me. I don't know why they always smell good. They remind me of my childhood. They're with all the other cards. There's something, I don't know. There's something about this card stock. Of course, it is the Ziggy Stardust deck, so maybe there's some magical smell spell in them. So this is instead of Friday nights, Erica. Because Friday nights were really hard for the other side of the world. It was like 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning. So when I'm doing 10:30 in the morning, I know it's hard for the West Coast. I could try doing 11. That might be better. On a Saturday morning, or late afternoon, whatever. Early afternoon. But the 6:30 at night, it's really difficult for anybody else that wasn't in the continental United States. So this seems to be working better for everybody. So this is now, instead of doing Friday nights, this is, I could say Friday nights to do lives for like random subjects. Oh yeah, if somebody else wants to, yeah, I always feel like we have a moderator, we have Stacy, but yes, thank you, Patty, for the timestamps. If anyone else wants to take over timestamps, that would be amazing. Otherwise, they'll get done. They'll just be a little later. All right, so Virgo. Sorry, I did that thing where I'm like, we're doing Taurus, and then I go into this big TED Talk collective message. They hit me when they hit me. I don't plan them. All right. And I feel like I have so much like built up. Little downloaded nuggets. Okay. I, as a Virgo rising, will tell you that I am very happy to have Mars out of my 12th house in the parts that it was in my 12th house, because I'm very late Virgo rising. So I'm sure early Libra risings will feel happy to also get that out of their 12th house in a few weeks. But Mars in my 12th house, because I have South Node and Pluto in my 12th house, so that was part of my health issue. I kept having these like transits that were not fun, and then when Mars was squaring Uranus in my 12th house, sitting on my South Node, not fun. So I'm sure Virgos are happy to have Mars out. and happy Virgo season. So Virgos, you have King of Pentacles, which I am not mad at. So there is some kind of very stable, this could be you, or this could just be an energy. This is a very stable energy. This is a very wise energy. It's a little Saturnian. And of course, as Virgos, you do have Saturn opposing. But it's Saturn and Pisces and it's retrograde. It's a softer, gentler Saturn, as I like to say. You know, Saturn and Pisces wants us to be ethical on a collective level. It wants us to be ethical and responsible and kind to the lesser of us, to the collective. Virgo's ethics are usually that they have to conduct themselves that way. So I don't think the Saturn opposing Virgo energy, maybe Saturn opposing, but like Virgo lives for some good ethics. It lives for some good guidelines, and it likes to serve and help others. I actually think that enhances that King of Pentacles. Virgo, this could be a shift, a huge shift, and not just the shift where it's taking place energetically. You could see money showing up. You could see money changing. You could see scarcity changing. But also, this isn't like the car broke, I needed extra money, and then this extra bill came in. This is, I know how it's coming in every month. Something about me has changed. Something about the structure has changed. There is a steadiness. Something you have learned is going to bring in a steadiness of abundance, wisdom, and stability. And God, we love that. Hey, Karen. The other thing Virgos are having is there's something they may have been grieving for that you've either been, you might be putting it on hold, grieving it. Virgo will normally over-examine, overthink. So there may be something that you just felt like, I can't sit in that energy anymore. And you put it on hold, or you are, you're either not dealing with it or you're at the tail end of grieving for something where it's the acceptance. It's not the fighting, losing it. And this doesn't feel like grief of someone who's crossed over. This feels like grief for someone who's still here. But there's an acceptance of it now. It's honestly a little releasing. Or you've had to put it on hold because you're diving into this, because this stability, the longer you have this kind of stability, the easier it will be to feel like you have the room to grieve, because everything else, when we grieve, it can really, we have to allow ourselves the space. And one of the number one reasons that people don't grieve relationships, people, situations, maybe you have to sell your house and you've lived there the whole life with your kids. There are plenty of things that we can grieve in life. And when we avoid that grief, sometimes it's because if we swam in that grief, it feels like we would lose hold of everything else that we need to facilitate our lives. Because grief can be that all-consuming. So whether you're putting it on hold or whether you're at the tail end of acceptance, Virgo, this might be one of the best reads I've ever had for you in years. I absolutely love this for you. Sadie, I'm still here. I'm in the other room. She goes, I haven't been in this room in probably close to 2 months. I think she thinks that I'm just gone from the house, so she's just yodeling in the other room. Sadie. Let's get these for Capricorn. I don't know that I've ever used the Nike cards for Capricorn. So Capricorn is at 59.59. That'll be easy to remember. That's your oldest cat's name? Yes, that's the rescue baby. The, I don't know if you can see her. This is still blows my mind. It looks exactly like her, even the little spots in the eyes. It's my little Stacy gave me that. I found that ASMR works with her. And simultaneously creeps my oldest daughter out. She evidently does not like ASMR. Because I was doing it one day and she's like, what are you doing? Stop that. I just said my oldest daughter. I have one. I don't know what that was about. Oldest child in this house, but only daughter. Yeah. She was like, don't do that again. Please. Okay. More 10s coming out. Capricorn. I think that Capricorn, and humbly, in my opinion, I think that Capricorn and Scorpio have one little thing in common, which is they like the thing to poke them a little bit. Almost like some kind of adversarial or challenge. You know, the goat wants to climb the mountain and the Scorpio wants to phoenix. They both share the fueling of conquering the challenge, conquering the adversary. I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I usually would say I'm not wrong. It's funny because I was talking to somebody and they're like, one of my, not like the Dionne Warwick telephone line. Like I literally have a whole bunch of friends that also do what I do. So like one of my psychic friends, very psychic friends who I will keep anonymous. And they were like, I'm picking up energy. Does so-and-so maybe think you're a know-it-all? And I'm like, who doesn't probably think that I think I'm a know-it-all? So I'm always like, I'm not wrong. I immediately cracked up. I wasn't offended at all. And I'm like, that clocks, that, you know, that tracks. Probably. So I would think 90% of people I come into contact with. All I do is like research in my free time. I think that's what's fun, you know, whatever. It is what it is, but it just cracked me up. Like, yeah, I'm sure. Well, it's not. I didn't need to say, I laughingly said I didn't need a psychic to tell me that. Okay, anyway. I don't know why I just shared that all with you. Probably because I felt myself correcting, say, maybe I'm wrong, instead of I'm not wrong. Okay, it stuck with me. Anyway, 10 of Swords. This is why I started talking about Capricorn and Scorpio together. There's a reason why the squirrel on the hamster on my hamster wheel comes off the track sometimes. Susie. The 10 of Swords in reverse for Capricorn is, you know, if it was here, we'd say this is ending. And you know, there's another card in this deck. It's the same exact illustration. And it says everything is fine. They're on their phone. When it's here, it means it's time. It's probably been time to let this go, but you're not. Now, whether that is fueling you to climb the mountain, Capricorn, and this is also for my 10th house energies and, you know, sun, moon, rising. If it resonates, take it. And if you're a Capricorn, if you are a 10th house Capricorn with Capricorn, sun, moon, obviously can't be rising, and it doesn't resonate, don't take it. And we have death. So this is either voluntarily you continuing into a relationship that probably has already died, should have died. You're resurrecting it again. It's a cycle of pain that for whatever reason you like a little bit, like getting a tattoo. Or there's something that you are unable to put down, and also simultaneously something else that you thought was dead and gone is coming back. So you either want to resurrect this, even though it brings you a cycle of pain, or there's something that universe wants you to know. You don't have to identify with this. This doesn't have to be like your origin story, Capricorn. Like, I slayed the dragon. I climbed the mountain. I accomplished this. Everybody's watching, so how can I not slay the dragon? Everybody's watching, so now I have to. You don't. No, you don't. Turn this way and be done with it, Capricorn. But something is coming back in, whether you're letting it in, whether you're conjuring something up from in a resurrection, or whether it's just something is coming back. I'm just going to let my Capricorn sit with that, because if anybody else can tell me and help me out of my life, it's going to be Capricorn, right? Because they're not wrong. I'm trying to decide. What do we think about Nicole, Connie, Joe, and Susie? Oh, I'm sure at some point we can arrange that. I'm sure at some point we can arrange that. And Nicole has been putting, if you haven't, she's been putting up, I think, weekly readings of all the signs. So go on Nicole Lilith Medium on YouTube and go check her out, because she's been doing weekly readings of all the signs. Speaking. Yes, and Connie, Joe, and I were just talking about doing that twin flame soulmate. We didn't want to do anything while Venus was in retrograde. And we both had I wasn't doing anything anyway, but yeah. There are enough obstacles that we were not doing that during the summer anyway. But I think that will be coming up too. I just want to take it slow. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. Aw, thank you, Flower Beauty. Okay. Also, I have series now for the people who see me regularly. You can get 3 appointments at one time. If you want to purchase ahead, you can get 3 appointments at one time. I have the hours right now, and then if people want half an hour, I'm not going to do 15 minutes, because those are already so discounted, and they're really 15 minutes. So, but I can do a half an hour's, but I'm doing hours right now. So if you buy them ahead, if you know you're going to do appointments and you buy them ahead, it's kind of like if I run a flash sale, and then there's a discount. Okay, let's see. Ooh, that was interesting. It came out one way and then landed another. I'm going to respect how it landed. And we got three cards. I'm not. That's too much change. You know what I'm going to do? I think what I'm going to do, because I keep getting every sign to not keep going. I'm going to take oracle cards for the other 6 signs, and then I will come back tomorrow and I will do oracle cards for Aries through Capricorn, and then read for Gemini through Pisces, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So let's take oracle cards for the other ones. First, we're going to do the Rebel cards. Let's take a Rebel card for Gemini. Because I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be able to go another hour and 15 minutes. But I do want to give something to all 12 signs. Okay, Gemini, collaborative dreaming. This is if you are 3rd house placements. Gemini sun, moon, or rising. I am feeling this for Gemini moon. Gemini energies, or if this resonates for anybody who's watching. If you've been dreaming of somebody, especially if you're not in contact with them, it is possible that you guys are literally, I will see you in my dreams. Collaborative dreaming. This is where your higher selves are coming to Kiki. If your 3D forms are out of communication. Hi, Sadie. You're going to come up on the couch. This is where, if you're wondering if this is this person coming to you in a dream, they are Geminis. If it feels real, it probably is. Now, the higher self coming to you in a dream is not the same as the 3D version of somebody coming to you in a dream, but the connection, it's to confirm the connection. And you are absolutely not crazy. These are very distinct. If you're hearing this and you're thinking, oh my God, that's me, it is. You will know when you are having, do you want to come here? Do you want to come? Hi. You're like, what are you doing? I think, my kids have been worried about me, and I think, honestly, Sadie has loved the fact that I have been quite like a slug, and she can dependably find me in the same place. You're going to come up here? Go ahead. Here she comes. So she's probably like, what is this? Why are you not where you're supposed to be in bed, quite frankly? I don't want to spend our time talking about what was going on with me exactly, but in bed. Okay, let's get a healing yourself card for Libra. That is coffee. No, you may not. Nope. Not water. Not water. Nope, nope. That's not good for kitties. Okay. Yes, baby. Hi, sweet girl. This beautiful girl. Yes. Okay. Oracle card for Libra. You know, Libra, you are going through South Node, late degree Libra. And so you're probably going to get pulled backwards to see, you might feel a little tested if it's going over your placements. We get take off your mask. I'm just going to read what the card says. You can, because Libras can sometimes hold back a little bit. Not always. Not in a close relationship. Hi, Stella. Not in a close relationship, but sometimes not always say what they want to say. So this is what it says. You cannot get love and attention you are craving by pretending in any way. You are... if you are frightened, to be honest with yourself and with others. Look and see, do you feel that you will lose friends and opportunities by showing them your imperfections? This card indicates that you need time to get to know yourself and what is truly important to you and your path. You will know... I should be wearing my glasses. You will know that you are evolving when other people's judgments of you no longer hit the way they do now. You have incredible talent, and do not hide any of your greatness because others may feel envious of you. So right now, Libra, again, with South Node going through your sign, and we're about to have eclipses. We're going to have a full moon and eclipse in Libra. These are the subjects that are going to come up. And they're going to come up so that you can deal with them and discard them. So, you know, I just said 3 signs ago that Taurus and Scorpio have finished their nodal axis, which means they have just learned. And now they're going to be utilizing that wisdom. And that's all you're doing. That's all you're doing in the next 18 months. Now it's like 16 months, is gaining wisdom and examining things. There's not less benefit to having the South Node going through your sign than having the North Node go through your sign. They just serve you in different ways. Okay. I think I want a Rebecca Campbell for Aquarius. Aw, thank you, Zoe. Okay, Aquarius, karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Let me just get that, right? Here we go. Do I even have glasses in here right now? No. I forgot to do like my check on the things that I needed before I started. It's been so long. What relationships do you find the most challenging, Aquarius? How can you see things from a different perspective? How are you being called to allow growth through conflict? That's a gorgeous card. I love these cards. What relationships? Because, you know, Aquarius is not about the bullshit. So a lot of times they'll be like, no, thank you. But what do you also have to examine? What in the conflict actually, not just conflict for drama, but what about it wants you to examine, really? Let's see. Let's take a card for Cancer. And I'm going to use these gorgeous cards from Heidi, who is a part of our community, of course. The White Light Oracle. These are also gorgeous. So this is the Oracle for Cancer. And then I'll come back tomorrow. I'll schedule that when I'm done to do oracles. I will do oracles for the first, for the earth and the fire. And then we'll do the reads for this is perfect. You guys are probably getting good at seeing it in my face. From when I start to when I finish, it shows in my eyes. Okay. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before, so now I'm super excited. Again, should have got... Ooh, 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 ooh. Guess what? That box was covering my glasses. Adva, I owe you an email, too. Okay. I hope I say this correctly. Epsilon modulation. Cancer, gather your energies and go within to regenerate. Let your actions match your inner rhythms rather than trying to force yourself to keep peace with external cues. Commit to your own natural timing and pace as you ground and connect to your center. You will realize your spiritual power to be at cause in any situation of concern. You have such goodness and light within you. Let go of shaming or blaming and embrace your own spiritual beauty. That feels really, really poignant. So I want to reread this part. Let your actions match your inner rhythms rather than trying to force yourself to keep pace with external cues. And what that means, Cancer, is that you want to make sure that you are not trying to adjust your emotions to make it more comfortable for external cues, that you are really designing your actions around how you truly feel your inner rhythms. Cancers as people in your life will give a lot. So if they're asking you to go on their timing, the payoff is probably worth your while. But Cancers, you have to feel love enough for yourself. You have to nurture yourself enough to allow that to run on your timing. Otherwise, you know what you do? You drain yourself. Out. Done. It's not good, right? So let's not do that. Are those cards in here? No. All right, so this is the other Rebecca Campbell. We're going to take this. No, No, we're going to take the wisdom of the well for Scorpio and leave Rebecca Campbell for Pisces. Okay. This is Colette Baron Reed. And oh my God, do we love her? The chess queen or the chess king. It really doesn't matter. Wisdom of the hidden realms. What did I call it? I don't know what I called it, but that's the real name. Okay. Scorpio. Here we go. Trust and strategizing. Now it came out in the upright, so it comes out as the ally. The chess queen has all the tools you need to aid you in your quest for your life of purpose, peace, and prosperity. When she arrives as your ally, you're given the task of asking Spirit for a vision of your life. Ask also to know the right actions to ensure your part in the process of unfolding. I'm going to read that part again, Scorpios, and 8th house energies. Ask also to know the right actions to ensure your part in this process of unfolding, which just means processing your feelings. How do you get where you want to be when it feels like there's obstacles? Then with a sense of trust, allow the strategy to be given unto you. Are your goals and desires in alignment with your current plan for life? It's interesting we get this card for Scorpio. For Scorpio, trust is a big one. Loyalty is a big one. If they don't trust you, they don't fucks with you. Period. The end. Hi, Miha. I'm better now. I was having health problems. I will look for your email, Gemini. So this strategy can only come when you trust the situation. Otherwise, you're strategizing to just assume it's going to fail if you don't have any trust in yourself or in the situation. But understand what a big role you play. Your own autonomy and your own agency in the processing. That's the sweet spot, Scorpio. And Pisces. We're gonna do this Rebecca Campbell. This is the Calling in Your Light, I believe. And I know if I go reach up and get the book, so I'm just gonna feel into this one. If I reach up and get that book, we're gonna have a 12 cream pie guy Sesame Street situation. If you know, you know. For you youngins, that means everything will fall down. Fred Flintstone's Closet is also the other reference I would make, which also I don't know if the youngins would get. Thank you. Hey, Mystic. Oh, you're in LA now. Mm-hmm. Okay, Birthing a New Age. Actually, 2 came out for you, so we're going to take them. The Minnetonkan. Longing for Home, Belonging, and the Original Lightworkers. That's so on point for Pisces. And this card feels very Piscean. Birthing a New Age. Dreaming a new world into being. So, you know, Pisces, you just had a full moon. There was closures, which means there's a new beginning. But also, that new beginning has to feel like not something that you're going to do that's going to validate your existence. It's going to, well, I failed in this, or, I moved out of that. So now I'm going to do this. And that's going to make up. It's going to validate me. It's going to It's going to validate everything I've done before, because, you know, people are like, oh, they don't stay in anything too long. Whatever. If Pisces, if there's anything around where you are creating something new, create it to find the home that feels like you belong, not to feel like you belong to the rest of society, that you belong to you. Pisces is so aware of everyone else in such a beautiful way. But sometimes, you know, I feel like people pick on Pisces. I do. And so, you know, don't tailor these new beginnings after this full moon based on what other people will qualify as stable, as successful, as legitimate. What I want you to do is create these new beginnings after this full moon based on, you know, what feels like home to you. Be damned everyone else's opinion. Saturn is about structure, self-actualization. It is in Pisces right now, and it's in retrograde for you to rethink and restructure everything. Then you have this full moon, Pisces. It's time. Restructure it so that you feel at home. I can't wait till we walk into a society where that's more honored than it has been. Right? I'm just going to pull, if I can find them, one of these. There they are. One of these and one of those. One of those. Okay, I feel like there's such a lag today. There's like more of a delay than usual. ET phone home. Okay, so just for fun, I'm going to pull a message card from your person and a romance card for anybody who's really having a situation and they're looking, because a lot of my reads are based on self-empowerment. But let's just pull. So let's just take a breath. I'm going to pull a card. And if this is supposed to be a message for you, it will resonate. So it almost feels like a little lottery thing here. All right. Message from your person. Okay, 2 came out. Three came out. All right, we're going to shuffle one more time. All right. This is for whoever is supposed to get this. It's a message from your person. Okay. Okay. It's the same one. The same one came out twice. I'm going to tell you how I truly feel, and my higher self is trying to reach you. It's for whoever this resonates for. I just feel called to do a little love connection reading. It's for whoever it resonates for. It's not for any certain sign. Now, I will say we did have the oracle card for Gemini that said collaborative dreaming. My higher self is trying to reach you. So if you're feeling synchronizations or anything like that, that could be for you. And I'm going to let you know how I truly feel. Let's pull a romance oracle card with this. Oops. I don't know about anybody else when they have cards, but good for you, Mystic. Although I've never been to LA. I do love upstate New York, but I love it for, I don't know, depends where. I love it for time periods. I've not gotten into the place in my life where I feel like I would want to. I think I'm just allergic to shoveling snow at this point in my life after living up in New York and up north and PA and all the places I've been up there. Okay, let's get, I need a romance card for the soul who's supposed to get the message. So this is similar than if you're like scrolling on something and you hear a message and you just know that that was divine timing. A romance oracle for the soul who's supposed to hear it. Heart-to-heart conversation is coming. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So this, my higher self is trying to reach you. This feels like it's coming. It doesn't feel like it's this week, but it feels like it's coming. And having to have that heart-to-heart discussion sometimes means understanding where each other's at. One may have more romantic feelings while the other is saying, this is what I can offer you right now. And I don't want you to read into things. So this could be calibrating, instead of guessing. But a heart-to-heart conversation is coming. Your higher self is trying to reach you. I hope that got to who was supposed to hear it. Bumpa-da-bumpa. That was my mom. Bumpa-da-bumpa. And Nicole just said the same thing. I was talking to Nicole one day on text because we were supposed to have a Zoom. And she's like, I'm stuck in bumpa-da-bumpa traffic. LOL. So I love that. It just makes me happy that everyone's saying that now, and it's kind of like my mom is probably loving it that she's famous for her bumpa to bumpa saying. I love you. Now you love you. It was so nice to be here with all of you. And I will schedule something for tomorrow. And thank you all for being so patient and so kind in all those messages, all those well messages. And gosh, Shauna sent cards. I appreciate you all so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.